My name is Paul Erubami. I'm the Managing Director of Max-Migold Limited. Max-Migold Limited develops the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma Program. We produce extensive content in training for facility management as well as workplace productivity. And I'm happy to welcome you all to the 13th stream of the FM Mastercraft Diploma we started out in 2017. Through these last 4 years, we have trained and graduated at least 250 people. And I'm excited to have this vibrant bunch here with us today. In today's opening session, we're going to basically have an introduction. We're going to talk about ourselves. We're going to introduce ourselves to the content of the program and take the first lesson as much as we can. But we always try to have our videos on in this class. It's a formal class, and I need to be upfront with you about the requirements of the class. It's not an informal class that you can have with your blanket over your head and your earphone on to just listen. No, you are here to, one, learn from facilitators and your classmates, two, share experiences, and three, network with the facilitators. So when we introduce ourselves, we get to see ourselves face to face. When we speak in class, we get to speak face to face with each other. Everyone that attends this program becomes part of a closely knit FM community, a professional community that's expanding by the day. And you know, it's a community where a lot of opportunities abound, and we cannot help but run a program that's very formal. I say it's formal because you will have classes where you will learn. You will have assignments issued and you need to complete them. You have assessments that come with some of the classes and you need to complete them. Every assignment and assessment coming before the next class, which means it's not piled up, it's not accumulated. At the end of the first 3 months of the program, we're all going to sit for an exam. And that exam is going to test our ability to, to understand and apply the principles that we have been taught in the FM Mastercraft Diploma Program. So I'm excited to welcome you here, and I hope I have been able to do a few of the house rules. Other things I'll be talking about include how the structure of the program will be, beyond just 3 months and a few more months for your project. The marking structure, the scoring requirements, and how each person will be will eventually graduate at the end of the day. We'll talk about that today. But I'm going to welcome to the program. I still have quite a handful of people who are still not with their videos on. Could you please put on your videos? Let's meet face to face.
Yes, sir.
Oluwayemisi, Ibrahim, Barakat. Barakat is the administrator, so you need to let your face be seen by everybody that you've been sending all kinds of emails and correspondence with. So they know who is in charge out here. Chris, Onu, will you please? Welcome. Ibrahim.
Yeah, I'm on it, sir. I don't know why I'm trying to put it on. I don't know.
And there's a video icon where you have a mic icon as well that you can just click on to remove it. Mayowa. Okay. If some of you have observed me a while ago, I was trying to find the best orientation in my room to have light on my face. So for when you're coming to class, I like Victor's screen. I like Kuku's screen. I like Adekule John as well as Anthony. Chinere, yes, you have a good screen. So let's try and have, as well as Aware Taufik, let's try and have some light on our face. I struggle with that right now, so that we can know that very clearly. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. All right, and then for the ladies in the house, yes, because it's a formal program, you're going to dress up as if you're going to school. That includes all the makeup and all the hairdo and all the presentation of how you like to be perceived, right? And then you get on a desk and chair as if you're actually in class or an office. Okay, so that's our expectation for everybody. All right. Okay. So to get to know me, I'll talk about myself. I'll introduce a few of the other facilitators, their names, at least when they come to teach their own classes, they introduce themselves in detail. I'll talk about the program, and I'll come around to all of us to tell us about yourself. My name is Paul Erubami. I started out as an architect, trained in my first degree for architecture, and then I switched off architecture, mainly because I felt the need to go into a field of endeavor that was largely untapped, that will keep increasing and will always be available. And that's facility management. If I design buildings and the buildings are built, my engagement stops. If that building is handed over to me as an FM today, I will run it for 50, 60, 100 years, and my engagement will be continuous. So I wanted to follow the money. If you build for 1 billion, be ready to spend 6 to 9 billion for its running cost in the useful life of 100 years or less, right? So the real money is not in the building, not in the construction, it's actually in the facility management. And since I have come into facility management, I have not looked back. I've not looked back because the opportunities have been so tremendous, so much that even my friends who went on to do masters in architecture and have become architects, they really can't boast of the kind of professional opportunities and the kind of career growth I've had in FM because of the high demand in this profession. So I would say that for me was a fantastic choice that I made to switch from architecture. What we are doing now is, because facility management is multidisciplinary, people who have studied all kinds of courses, architecture, engineering, social sciences, management, education, mathematics, whatever it is, can come into FM with confidence because we have a body of knowledge to groom and train you as an FM, and you can move on to excel in your career. The demand will only keep increasing, I can assure you. Will only keep increasing. We are building at frantic pace across Nigeria today. People will manage them. Even when those constructions are completed and there's nothing to construct again, people will have to manage all of the buildings. The demand is going to be phenomenal, and we're already seeing it. Okay, I'm seeing it in the people who have finished this program in the last 2 to 3 years, who have had to change jobs because people are always going to come and receive higher offers. You won't believe it. Somebody finished the last class that we had and is still working on her project, and somebody called her for a job of 200K, fresh from previous experience in facility management. And that's the kind of experience you're going to have if you actually follow through our training regime on this program. On the job, all the things you struggle with right now, you're going to find solutions to them in this class. And we also encourage you to bring your problems to the class so we can all brainstorm on it and find solutions together. When I left architecture school, I went for my master's degree in industrial engineering in the UK. And ever since then, I've been working as a facility manager. That's the only job I've had. Done a few designs in the past. But architecture is a job I can say is, I mean, facility management is a job I can say I have been doing. And then I gained my qualifications, not just the master's in industrial engineering, but also the facility management professional from IFMA, the sustainability facility professional, which is Sustainable FM. Also became certified with IFMA, the CFM, which is the top range in every FM qualification. In fact, it's the only globally recognized FM certification, not just a credential, not just a qualification. It is a certification. Also chartered with RICS, that's the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. It's a global charter of engineers, surveyors, architects, builders, everybody in the built environment. So as an MRICS member under the facility management stream, chartered and expert in that category. Also, the Institute of Workplace and Facility Management of the UK, which used to be BIFM, also chartered with them. And this is what I've done over the last 20 years. I don't only have all of these certifications, charters, and qualifications. I also teach all of the IFMA training and qualifications. So if you want to do the FMP and you come to class in Nigeria today, you're likely going to meet me as a facilitator of that program. The SFP, even the CFM, as we speak, I still have a class I'm running virtually with the CFM preparation. So in essence, gaining the certification and being able to teach it, having gone through very stringent process to become a qualified instructor, brings a lot of experience, brings a lot of skills from all of that background in FM to acquiring the certifications to becoming a teacher or instructor in all of them to your program. So you're going to be getting international grade instruction. I've heard some people say, oh, well, we tried to sign up for your program. It was too expensive. We want to take it elsewhere. In the whole of Africa, there is only one person who can teach the FMP, the SFP, the FM learning system, the FM essentials, and the certified facility manager, and that's me. So if I am in a class talking to you about facility management, and you say there is another class somewhere where you were taught facility management very cheaply, I really wonder how you can compare it. But of course, all of you in the program and the testimonials of those who have gone past will tell the difference at the end of this program. I'll take a second to answer what's calling my Okay, sorry for that abrupt break. So for my work experience, I worked as a facility manager for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, worked as a facility manager on the share portfolio, managing all of share properties across Nigeria, mostly the base locations in Warri and Port Harcourt, consisting of residential estates, airports, guest houses, hospitals, airstrips, commercial airports, and the rest, right? Even leisure places, golf courses, and the rest. And then worked for Halliburton a bit, worked in the UK for other FM companies out there, worked in the Nokia Solution and Networks Africa Hub as manager of the African Hub of their properties across 13 countries. And then started Max-Migold in 2015 to provide value-added solutions to the FM industry and the built environment, and also to develop training content to bring up as many people as possible to become experts in facility management, just like I have done for myself over the past years. And that's exactly how all of that experience is what we're going to be getting as we go on through the program. Now, facility management has a lot of competencies, everything from human resources to health and safety, to project management, to finance, to communication, leadership, budgeting, a lot of competencies. We cover all of the FM competencies in this 3-month program. And that's why we make bold to say this is your professional diploma in facility management. And this is exactly what we have put together here. And I'm sure you're going to have a very good time on this program. I'm sure you're going to have a very good time. We've never had a dissatisfied individual in this class. Everyone gets to talk about the testimonials and progress they make in their careers while on the program and beyond. Okay, so that's about me. That's about the program. It's going to run for, okay, let me go a little more about the program because it's very important. For attending class like you are now, there is a register that is being kept in the training center. Every attendance is marked. And at the end of the program, there's a 10% of your final grade that comes out of your attendance. But beyond that 10% of your grade that comes out of your attendance also helps you to participate in the discussion, helps you to connect with what is being said. It is very different from watching a video after the class. We're going to have all the videos ready for you at the end of the program as well. So you have access to all of the videos of the classes, right? But you need to actually be in every class as much as possible, unless something untoward happens that makes you unable to attend class. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, when you get an assignment, don't sleep on it. When you get an assessment, don't sleep on it. In fact, the class ends by 7 p.m. By 7 p.m., work on the assignment or assessment for that day. Mind you, the content for the day's lesson gets to you a day before, which means you get a chance to read up, research more, make notes, write down questions before the class starts. So that is heads up for you about what tomorrow's class will be. Already you have seen the questions in the material. If there's going to be a question assessment in that material, you have seen it. It's there, okay? Then once the class ends by 7 p.m. on the day of the class, stick to it, give it an hour and a half, and finish that assessment and submit it in a link that the training center will provide for you. Okay? All of those information that you were given in your onboarding documents, please read them. Thank you so much for being top on your Zoom. I didn't see much problem of, oh, I couldn't log in. Just one video feed issue I've had today. It used to be more difficult getting through Zoom and the rest. Once you follow the instructions, create your Zoom account, sign into Zoom, and you click on the link for the class, you are in, right? So your attendance is very important. Doing your assignments is very important. At the end of the day, your assignments and your assessments actually account for 30% of your grade. Okay, so that's about 12 to 15 different efforts that you would have put into answering those questions, and then it accounts for 30%. So you have 10% for attendance, 30% for assessments and assignments, and then your final exam is 60%. Okay, now the 60% is a 3 hours. Is it 3 hours? No, 300 minutes. How many hours is that? 3 hours, 20 minutes. 3 hours, 20 minutes exam made up of 300 questions, multiple choice, one correct answer. All right. You actually need to study all of your materials, read wide as much as possible, and review all of the videos of the class at least twice after you have been in the class to score nothing less than 280 or 290 of that exam. Anyway, the best so far from all batches has been about 260 for that exam. But I see a lot of people who approach the exam very casually and say, oh, I understand everything we have been taught. I've been doing these things. I know them. And then you take the exam and you get 100 out of 300. 100 cannot even scale through. The scale through score for that exam is 75%, which is 225 out of 300. Okay, so it's very important that start preparing ourselves upfront for what this is about. The reason we have this level of rigor and formality into this program is this. This is the first of its kind diploma that is going to come with a designation. As soon as we're done with the paperwork, we're going to come back to all of the alumni to say, you can now have the designation FMD after your name. And if anybody says, where did you get that designation from? You say, I passed, I qualified with the Max-Migold Fmmc diploma program. That's why you're now an FM diploma holder, right? And once that happens, the next thing that will be on trial will be Max-Migold and our quality of training. Because you'll be tested in interviews, in job assignments, in tasks to perform. And then if your quality is below par, the FMD means nothing. It means nothing. It simply means that you went somewhere, you paid some fees, and they gave you a designation. That would destroy the program. So when we put all of this rigor and formality, come to class formally, show yourself as if you're in class, write your assignments, attend class, do this, do that, write your exam. We're doing it deliberately because of posterity. This program is going to lead into hundreds of years into the future. And people are going to come in and say, what is the quality that this program has been able to achieve? The quality is not in the content. The quality is not in the delivery. The quality is in the output that comes from you who have received these qualifications. So you cannot be casual about it. Okay? And that's why we have that level of rigor in the program. I just need to impress this upon you in the first class. So it doesn't look like something you are doing part-time, evening school, no need to put in effort. You really need to put in effort. You need to put in effort. You need to study, to research, you need to concentrate, and you need to make the best out of this. Okay, questions from the class before we move on to you. Questions about my profile, questions about the course and the package of this program. If you want to speak, you can either hit the unmute bar, which is the mic icon in your Zoom, or you can push down your space bar, which will temporarily unmute you, and then you can speak. And once you finish speaking, you lift your hand from the space bar, you'll be muted back again. The way we do in this class is there's a hand raising feature in your Zoom app, whether it's on phone or on the laptop. All you need to do is just raise your hand, and then I would acknowledge you. I've seen once or twice when somebody did not have the raise hand feature in his app, and I don't know how that happened. So she had to be doing that in class. So I had to be noticed that somebody's doing that in class. But I believe you have the hand raising feature. Please check in your Zoom app and test that feature. Test it, put it on and off. Let's see. The hand raising. Yes, it works. It works for you. It works for Mayowa and Tony. Vianana, Chinyere, it works. Jubail, it works. Emmanuel, it works. Okay. And Tony, yep. Francis, have you checked? Daniel, Ibrahim, it works. Good. Maya, have you checked? Daniel, the one you use is actually the thumbs up. That's to tell me I'm doing well. That's not the raise hand. Let's check the raise hand one.
So how do I see the raise hand?
You're not seeing it?
No. I'm not seeing it at all.
Hello?
I said I can't see it. I only see thumbs up.
You can't see it? Oh, wow.
I think you should search. You should search where the reactions are. You know, just a few emojis are on. Can search the rest where there are dots, dots, dots. Just put your cursor there and then you search. You get it. There's so many.
Well, here there are not dots. So I don't even see.
Where you have reaction, there's a dots, 3 dots somewhere where it's written more.
Yes, there's more there, yes. When you click on that more, you see more options.
I do not have that.
Is it a phone you're using, Daniel?
No, no.
It's a laptop?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so it works for everybody. All right, so who wants to ask a question now?
Excuse me, sir, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I went through the course outline, and what I noticed is one course in a class, I mean a lecture. So I want to ask, will 3 hours be able to finish that particular course, or you have to give us the material so you can read extensively, or how do you plan on one lecture, one course?
Yes, yes, we do that deliberately. So you get the material for the course a day ahead, and then you read as wide as possible. When we come to class, we follow the content that we're giving you in that material, and then we expect you to ask questions that will take us to relevant applications of that course module. That's the approach in this class. If we try to take, let's assume we want to take the course on leadership or HR or customer service, I want to break that into what will give you a full program on it. For example, you want to take a 2-day program on leadership, right? A 3-month course that you attend 3 times a week will not do that. So what you do is you read the content that we share with you. We will discuss the content, but because you have read it and you have notes, questions, and comments, you bring those back to class. We have a very robust discussion on the day of the class. What we teach are what I call the nuggets, the gist, for you to be able to effectively deliver on your role as an FM. Everything we teach, we deploy practical examples, scenarios, and discussions relating to live FM situations. So we don't teach generically. So if you see a class like HRO, for example, we're not going to be talking about HRO in the sense of, you know, every HR. We're going to talk about how facility managers manage people, right? And all the various applications of HRO in the FM space is what that course will cover.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome, Francis.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, I actually tried the raise hand stuff, and
Okay.
I'm trying to remove it, but
Just
I
click on it
noticed,
again.
I noticed that anytime I touch my phone to click, the network goes up. I don't know. So I need to wait for another 8 seconds for it to reconnect.
Sorry about
So
that.
that's why
strange.
I left it like that. But
Okay.
anyways, and I was hoping to hear you call my name that you saw it. That is why I still did not.
Okay.
touch
Okay.
it.
I
So
did
now
actually.
that I'm sure
We are
I
seeing
can
it.
lower my
Lower your
hands.
hand. Very good. Thank you.
All right.
Oluwayemisi, let's hear from you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good. All right. So let's do the introductions now. We're going to start. I'll start with people who are not putting up their faces. I wonder why Umeke COB Kaios, and who's signed in as N? We can't have an N in this class. Show your face and rename yourself. J, can you rename? Just click on the more there and you'll see a rename item, and rename the name properly with your name and surname. J6030, you can rename. And you need to rename, or otherwise we'll have to remove it from the class. Muili, can you start the introductions for us? Which means you have to put on your video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody.
So let me tell you what you're going to introduce. You're going to tell us your full name, tell us where you work, how much experience you have in the working experience generally, right? And what's your background discipline? Your name, where you work, your years of experience, your background discipline.
Okay, sir. Okay, my name is Jubril Muili. I'm a real estate consultant. I have close to 15 years working experience. I've done FM for over a period of 5 years. I presently run a real estate firm at Sura. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Oluwayemisi, it's your turn. Jubril, you didn't tell us your background discipline.
Oh, sorry. I have a BSc Estate Management, University of Lagos.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. Go ahead, Yemisi.
Okay, good evening. My name is Oluwayemisi Shofolu. I'm estate surveyor and valuer, working with Bola Olawi Consulting in Ikeja. I'm an estate surveyor.
Okay, fantastic. How many years experience do you have altogether?
7 years experience.
7 years, fantastic. All right, Adekunle John.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Adekunle John Abbas. I have been doing facility management for like 3.5 years now. I work with Stradrock Real Estate Limited, Lekki. Yeah, I have a bachelor's of agriculture from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Mayawa.
Good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm Oguntola Victor Mayawa. Yes, and I have less than 2 years experience. I'm presently a teacher, and I graduated from the Federal University of Akure, Futa, in engineering, mechanical to be precise.
Fantastic. You're welcome, Mayawa. Emmanuel Taiwo.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Tell the other person in your room to mute completely and put off their speaker.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm Emmanuel by name. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, go ahead with your introduction. Where you work, what
Okay,
you do, how long, how much experience you have, your background.
Okay. My name is Emmanuel Taiwo. I work with Max-Migold Limited, Lagos, for scheme management. So my background is in architecture. Yes, and I have some let me say 2 to 3 years in architecture. But I'm also start a career in VIM and facility management.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, welcome. Moses.
All right, my name is Moses Obotu, and I work at Cost Group Investment Limited. It's a real estate development company in Abuja, Nigeria, and we have a facility management unit. I've been in facility management for about 3 years now. I have 3 years experience, and my background discipline is in mechanical engineering. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anthony.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anthony Ifeanyi Alabwa. I work with Max-Migold PLC. We're into real estate and properties. And I have over 15 years experience in FM. And my background discipline is economics education from Lagos State University, LASO. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Temitope Agoride. Your audio quality is kind of poor. Put off your video and see whether your audio can improve temporarily.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ogunride Temitope. I work at Maternal and Child Center, Aja. I graduated from the University of Ibadan, economics. I have less than 2 years experience.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. My case, you'll be Kaios. Did I pronounce your surname properly?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Kaios Umekesiubi. I'm a civil engineer training. I'm a professional. I'm a practitioner in the real estate, and I have a disinterest in moving into facility management. That's what attracted me to this training, and I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome.
I have over close to 20 years experience in the real estate industry.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Welcome, Chaos. Toby Loba, please do your introduction.
Yes, my name is Toby Loba. I have a background in geography, I'm a geography major. I have 10 years experience in administration, as office administration and education. This is my first year with FM, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank
Fantastic.
you.
You're welcome. For Barakat, find out who was N and ask him or her to rejoin the class, okay? Barakat, are you there? Hello, Barakat. Can Barakat please respond? Emmanuel.
Yes, sir.
Is something wrong with Barakat's ability to come online?
Yeah, I think maybe it's network. Yeah, I think it was the so she on mute now.
Barakat, did you get the feedback to find out who N is and ask him or her to rejoin? You know who that person is? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask that to take another. Okay, good. Please go ahead and tell him or her to rejoin. Let's take another 5 minutes break. We'll be back again. We're starting softly. Yeah, just hang on.
So when your stream is on your phone, they're not controlling it on your screen. Your mouse is controlling it from.
Yeah, but I'm not saying like even from there was not directly me there.
See this mouse. It's not here. You move it like this. See, your system is like this.
Okay.
The TV is here.
Okay.
So your cursor has to move away from your screen. Is now is here. So you have to move like this.
Okay.
Can you see? Okay. It's on next step. Now your TV is here.
Thank you. Okay. So you said something, I didn't get it. Wow. Is that what they name themselves? Maybe I'm not saying the right thing, me that I'm going to so. But there's no thing. No, now you've taken it personal. You've taken it personal. You took it personal. You took it personal.
I should give us the thing is giving the
see what they say that
is what you were telling me,
what they're saying. Two people had issues logging. The other person not logging already, but the issue is having nice to rename. The other one, yes. Normally you're not supposed to send them this link. You're supposed to just go with this link. That was why I told you to actually try joining with this link first to see if things will be resolved. And automatically, this is just the easiest way for you to join this class. So when you're not saying they should do this, you do this. Like, wow, with this link I've sent, you don't need it. And it's not confuse them. Yes.
All right. So while we're on the introductions, we've done Maya while. Let's do Victor Chukwemeka. Sagi.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir.
Welcome.
My name is Victor Chukwemeka. I work as a facility supervisor for Fix-It Facility Management. My background discipline is as a business administrator at Lagos Polytechnic. I have 4 years experience as a facility supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Ibrahim Abiodun.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ibrahim Abiodun Bello. I presently work at National Force Limited as a marketer, and my background is economics education from the University of Lagos.
Fantastic, you're welcome. Chimeze.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chimeze Orisakwe. I work with Central Routes Limited at Ocean Parade Stores, Banana Island, Ikoyi. I work as a facility maintenance engineer, and I have over 10 years experience from the background of electrical electronics engineering, FUTO. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Anthony.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon,
Yes.
everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. My name is Anthony Ifeanyi Alabwa. I work with Max-Migold PLC. Our office is at Maryland. I have over 15 years experience as an FM, and my background is economics education from Lagos State University, LASU.
Fantastic.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome. Thank you so much. Francis.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening. Welcome.
It seems to be that I'm the only one with that's a novice here with so much practical experience in managing facilities. So I'll tell you what I mean by that. I work with Saipem Contracting Nigeria for 5 years. I was 22 years old when I started working with my boss. So he was the one managing all the facilities, so many. So I was working with him as a PA. I didn't know I was in facility management work. So that is why I said I'm a novice with so much
experience,
physical experience. I got a contract that I wanted to put into. I think I explained to you personally, sir. So I was thinking that my physical experience may not get me the job.
Yes.
They may ask me for a certification or something. So I started researching and I got to find Max-Migold, and I said, okay, this is where God is leading me. So let me just put into this. So I am a novice. I cannot challenge anybody here. I am the junior. So my discipline is business administration at University of Lagos, Unilag.
Okay,
so
thank
I've
you
worked
very
with
much.
Saipem for 5 years. Yeah.
Fantastic.
You're
welcome. Thank you so much. I'm sure none of your classmates are going to be deceived by your modesty. Francis, don't worry.
No, they should try to train me. That is why I am available for employment. Funny enough, sir, I got a job offer yesterday.
Oh, wow.
For a facility manager, a very big job. I said I was starting a class today. Yes. I cannot do it.
Wow,
so I don't want to miss this class for that job because I see the future in facility management in Nigeria.
I can assure you that if you call them and tell them you are in this training, they will give you the job and give you time to do the training. That's the truth.
That was what my uncle said, but I said, no, I don't know if I can do it. Let me not joke with this one.
So you want to test your confidence first. You want to test your confidence first by coming to class. Okay, that's good.
I don't want to fail. I don't like to fail. So I don't want to go and start what I cannot theoretically defend. I can defend it practically.
Yes.
It's just about bringing the right hands to do the right things. But
fantastic.
I have to be able to defend theoretically, then give heads up to Max-Migold. This guy is trained by Max-Migold.
Thank you. That's good. Welcome. Chris.
Welcome, sir.
Chris, please go. Chris, you are still muted. Good.
Okay, my name is Chris Ono. I work with an oil service company in Port Harcourt. I've been managing my boss's facility for the past 6 years. And I don't have much else. I'm a graduate of business administration and management, but I have no knowledge of facility management. I don't have a document covering the job I'm doing. So I just don't know how I got the mail. I just got the mail on my Gmail. When I go through, I just forwarded it to my boss that I need his assistant, and he granted it.
Fantastic.
He paid for the training.
Fantastic.
So I'm happy to be here, and I hope I don't disappoint him. Thank you.
Fantastic. You're welcome. Good one. Vianana, did I pronounce your name properly?
You did well. You did well. The name is Vianana.
Vianana. Okay, good.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So Vianana is the surname.
Okay.
Right. So I'm one of the few people that actually, would I say, stumbled into facility management. I am a geologist by training. I started my career as a business executive, a trainee manager in the wood processing and furniture industry.
Yeah.
And thereafter, I had the opportunity to join the Notori Chemical industry. We used to be the National Fertilizer Company of Nigeria,
Yes.
Notori, as a safety inspector and rose to become a safety supervisor. But at some point in my career, there was stagnation. So when the opening for a facility maintenance coordinator came up in the admin department, it was a higher role. I took the shot at it. And I was successful in the interview and subsequently redeployed to the admin department as the facility maintenance coordinator. I have been on that role for approximately 5 years. And just recently, I was also promoted to become the head of the general services unit.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Congratulations. Well done.
It has paid coming into facility management.
Exactly. now it's time for you to gain the credential and prepare to teach it to others, because that's what I'm trying to get out of this class. You must not be selfish when you acquire this knowledge and skills. You must make yourself available to be able to teach others, with your experience and the training. Okay. So I'm sure we're going to have a talk more, Medikumo, right? Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, Medikumo.
Medikumo. Okay. Sounds like a riverine name. I'm right now speaking from teaching this class from Yenagoa.
I know you have been to all the locations between my axes.
I know.
The Kokuma axis, Kayama axis.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. Tafik.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Awe Taufik. I work with Aero Contracting from Nigeria Limited at Ikeja. Yeah, I have 3 years facility maintenance experience, facility management experience. I graduated as a mechanical engineer at Yaba College of Technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel.
No, that's not true.
Good evening.
Yes, Emmanuel, hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Ikwaba Emmanuel. I presently work at SACO, Skyway Aviation Handling Company in Ikeja. I have 3 years experience.
Okay. Emmanuel, you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're just good.
Okay, so I have 3 years working experience as a facility manager, working with Skyway Aviation Handling Company at Ikeja, Lagos. I have a background in chemical engineering from Futo.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm sure after this class, when we go through MM2 and old domestic and national airport, we'll see your hand. We'll see your hand around that area. Eh?
Hopefully.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Madam Chinyere, welcome. I'm giving you the last slot. I hope there's no one else I've missed. I think I've covered everybody. All right, Madam Chinyere, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Chinyere Gwongo. I work with the Standards Organization of Nigeria. We develop standards for the nation, so I work with the government. And I have a background in botany from University of Port Harcourt, environmental management from Futo, that's in Owerri. And then, well, for me, we just adopted the international standards on facility management, and my organization is planning to implement, and so they sent us for this particular training. So I would say that I am even, I'm a greenhorn when it comes to facility management, but I also believe that by the end of this training, I'll be an expert, just like Mr. Paul. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. You see how why I want to make sure to speak last. As a government director who is going to regulate us later, I have to be careful how I teach her, because if I don't teach her well, it's what I teach her, she used to run the whole country.
Oh my God.
So welcome, Chiri. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Kingsley, you didn't speak before. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Kingsley Opera. I work with Obosi Ele & Co as the facility manager for all our properties on the island. I have a 10 years working experience. I studied estate management in Unilag, and presently I'm running my master program.
Fantastic. All right. Who have not spoken? Daniel, you were so in my face, I thought I've talked to you already. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Yeah. Daniel, you can put off your video temporarily so your audio can be better.
I hope it's clear now. Hello? Is it clear now?
Yes, it's better. Go ahead, please.
I said, good evening. My name is Danny Odo. I have a background in agriculture engineering. And currently I work at Making Gardens Estate. I've actually worked within the build permit since 2008. Actually.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so that means we've covered everybody, right? I think so. Okay, so I'm going to go share my content for today's class with you. Please confirm if you see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, the screen is visible.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so I started out Max-Migold. This is just a little bit about myself. A few years ago, precisely in 2006, but we didn't start operations because I was still in paid employment till about 2015. And then we started, providing energy efficiency solutions. We have any scope metering for that purpose. We have energy audits. If you're not sure what's costing you to consume so much energy and cost, we can do a survey and audit through reports. We do energy management system for you to be able to control your energy consumption. Max-Migold provides facility management advisory solutions all the way from real estate development to construction to project delivery to onboarding of people into estates and managing your estates and commercial properties. Max-Migold also provides extensive training, part of which we are here for today. Max-Migold is partners with international training organizations for all kinds of workplace productivity training that we'll be sharing with you as we go on with this in this program. So basically every solution you will need to automate technology, to manage software, to manage your facilities, advisory in every respect we provide in Max-Migold. And that's what I've been doing in the last 6 years or so. Our first class is about trying to get into facility management. You might have been in facility management, but you probably have not thought about, about it. You probably didn't come in from the standpoint of being trained in facility management in your first degree. I'd literally ask everybody to say their background, because I know nobody will say, I was trained with my first degree in facility management in Nigeria. We don't have any first degree course in facility management. So what we're doing here is to produce that capacity to have people in all walks of life come in and become trained, reskilled, and converted to become professional facility managers. So this introductory course is to give us a kind of a background of what facility management is. The history, the FM wheel, FM services, service level agreements, the key elements of facility management, and then strategies. In fact, look out for that last part of our lesson today, strategy to foster operational excellence in facility management. For those of us who are already working in facility management, we have one site or the other, we have projects in various locations, or we are managing one building or having interactions with people and stakeholders in facility management, we will be able to go back from today with certain innovations, certain ideas that we're going to apply immediately to improve our operations right away. All right, so we'll start with what is facility management. IFMA says it's a profession that encompasses multiple disciplines to ensure functionality of the built environment by integrating people, place, process, and technology. Now, what's significant about this definition is that FM encompasses multiple disciplines. It's not an engineering profession, it's not maintenance, it's not business, it's not health and safety, it's not project management, it's not marketing, it's a bit of all of them. So it's multiple disciplines. But what do we do in FM? We bring all of these multiple disciplines together to ensure the functionality of the built environment. And we do that by integrating people to their places, using processes and technology. And there are quite a handful of definitions. In fact, if you go to different FM textbooks, you will come across all kinds of definitions. In fact, in my master's degree program in the University of Lagos, where I lecture as well, I get my students to create their own definition. It's very important that you are able to understand FM to the point where you can actually create your own definition. Your definition will not be far away from what others are saying, but it will be your own way of expressing your understanding of what facility management is about, okay? And so that's something that you can decide to do. I'm not giving it as an additional assignment in this class. It's discretionary if you want to do that consideration. But looking at all the definitions that are in the materials you've been given, you will find something that is very important. The people that use the spaces that you manage are your primary constituency. Okay, so when you provide for them, what you provide for them is spaces and services so that they can operate safely, effectively, and efficiently. I particularly love this definition put together by the US Congress. That's their own look at FM. Until 1980, nobody was trying to define facility management because it didn't exist. We existed in small clusters of maintenance crews in public works department, in the military works department, in the engineering department for maintenance and so on and so forth, right? But it dawned on the world that we're doing maintenance and not facility management. Facility management was more encompassing than maintenance. So if I saw any definition that says facility management is the maintenance of buildings, I would say that is a myopic view or approach to understanding facility management, and I would definitely not subscribe to such a definition by any by any means, okay? So taking a look at the IWFM, this used to be IFM, the practice of coordinating a physical workplace with the people and work of the organization, integrating the principles of business administration, architecture, and the behavioral and engineering sciences, which is basically saying that we're trying to make sure that the physical workplace blends with the people and the work that they do. And how do we do that? We use skills, principles from business, architecture, engineering, and the rest. So while we say FM started in the late 70s and early 90s, we cannot take away the fact that FM as a way of living has always existed. People have always found ways to make their habitation habitable. The ancient our ancestors knew which direction to point or to face your entrance, and which direction to position your windows for the proper ventilation. Many of us, if you grow up in the villages, we know that there are certain points in the house, in the hut, where a certain clay pot can always remain cool because of certain design considerations that have gone into that provision. And why should that spot remain cool? Because we want our drinking water to remain cool, away from the sweltering hot outside and so on and so forth. Everything has gone into making humans able to perform the functions that they want to perform within the spaces that they have to perform those functions. And that's all that facility management is about. FM as a profession encompasses virtually everything that the organization does that is not their core business. So that's why we try to use that core versus non-core as ways to explain whose activities are within the FM spectrum and whose are not within the FM spectrum, right? So while we say the FM is one that manages all of those services from cleaning, support, property management, which includes maintenance, catering, security, and all of the likes, all of those logistics and ways to help the organization achieve its goals, we have to understand that FM covers all of the things that the organization does that is not its core business. In essence, if somebody is working in a bank and you're not involved in transactions, cash, handling, accounting, and all the works that have to do with finance, then definitely you're in FM. So if you're in charge of providing spaces like halls and furniture and catering in meeting rooms and providing power, utilities, water and conveniences, you're the one providing, just name it, logistics, travel, transport, hoteling, and the rest, you're definitely providing facility management services, which is the non-core of that organization. Your business is to ensure that the organization prospers. And that's why we'll consider the FM wheel. It's a combination of skills and activities in a very broad sense, everywhere from real estate to projects to planning to finance and budgeting, auxiliary services, technology, management and leadership, operations and maintenance, and so on and so on. And these ones are also broken down further. Take operational maintenance, for example. You have janitorial maintenance, ground security, emergency response, service requests, other responsibilities, and so on and so forth. Many FMs or many organizations would think that operations and maintenance is all that we do in facility management, but then you know that that's not all. We do a lot more in FM, and that's what this class is about. So we can learn to broaden our horizon and understand FM in a broader context of being the organizational unit or business unit that ensures that the core business thrives, not only survives. So in another way of expressing the FM wheel, think about all of those property portfolio issues, capital and budgeting, real estate, furniture and equipment, workplace moves, IT and telecom, assets management, asset control, tracking of your assets, space management, and so on and so forth. These are all areas where, so an FM can see himself working in one particular segment and probably don't know that he's actually doing FM. And that's why I like the kind of introduction we've had today. We've come from different walks of life and different types of experiences. We are fortunate to know that we are being in facility management. That's why we are here. That's why we are all here, to gain some level of credibility and validation of the skills that we already have. FM services can be broadly categorized as hard services or soft services. Hard services are what we also call your building services. Your building services. Your building services are services or systems built into your building. In essence, so take things like air conditioning, electrical, fire systems. They are wired pipes connected into your building. Okay, some people look at it and say, oh, well, these are the technical services. Look, both hard and soft are technical. Both hard and soft are engineering. Both hard and soft are, there's no one that you can say, oh, this one is more important than the other. Okay, but soft services is what we also call occupant services. Occupant services. These are services that are provided for the users of a facility because of the users of a facility, not necessarily because of the facility itself. So the rate at which soft services are consumed, the design and specification for soft services will mostly align with the expectations and wishes and desires of the occupants of a particular facility, okay? So everything from cleaning, caretaking, poultry, grounds maintenance, waste disposal, recycling, security, catering, pest control, HSC, space management, furniture and equipment, all fall under soft services. And you can go on making more examples of tasks and activities or groups of activities that can come under soft and hard services. But the bottom line understanding I want you to have is things that are built into the building, things that are built for the building, things that are designed because of the building are hard services, and things that are built for the people or designed for the people to enjoy the building are soft services. The facility management as a profession has been defined in terms of 11 core competencies by the International Facility Management Association. I'm just going to run through this briefly. In subsequent classes, we have a class where we're going to take each of these competence areas one after the other and learn what kind of breakdown it entails. What does this competence require? What does it mean for you as a facility manager? Okay, and we'll do that in more detail. But for today, let's just take them with one line description. Communication. The FM does everything it does in teams. The facility manager's job is not a one-man's job. It's never a job that can be done in an isolated way. Okay, you communicate with your team members. The facility manager provides services to people who uses the facility. Communication is the way to set expectations. Communication is the way to understand the customer so that you can know how to devise the kind of solutions you want to provide. Communication is also the way you can report back to your customer to say, I am doing well, or I'm not doing well, I have this gap, right? Facility management also involves working with other stakeholders, regulatory authorities, business owners, shareholders, visitors to your complexes. It is through communication you understand what the expectations of these stakeholders are, know how to design solutions to fit the needs of the stakeholders, give reports, get feedback from stakeholders. This competence called emergency preparedness and business continuity is simply your risk management competence. Most organizations suffer untold hardships because of poor facility management today. And much of the problem that we suffer in facility management today is because we do not envisage things that will go wrong. So we throw our hands in the air to say, oh, it's gone wrong, we couldn't have envisaged it, and as such, we have to just live with it. No. When you do proper emergency preparedness and have business continuity in place, you conjure up all the things that can go wrong, you assess, evaluate, and rank them, and you put measures in place. First, to avoid, prevent, then to mitigate, those that you could put measures in place to reduce their impact, and then you can defer or deflect. There are some of those risk items that you can transfer to other organizations or others so that it does not give you a maximum burden. All right. The FM should have these plans in place so that nothing comes to you as a surprise. Every time I say there's no emergencies in the FM, I don't think half of the room agrees with me. But the truth is, this is the only way we can ensure that there are no emergencies in FM, anticipating the emergencies and having robust plans in place to ensure that those emergencies will not come as a surprise to us. Environmental stewardship and sustainability. This is now the sustainability competence. The earth is being drawn from on a daily basis for the buildings we build, the services we provide. The earth, on the other hand, also receives all of our toxic and waste matter back into the environment. As facility managers, we are responsible for almost 40% of what is drawn out in terms of fossil fuel used in buildings, in terms of chemicals used in our facilities, and then the waste that goes back to pollute the earth. So we need to have this as a competence. Again, today, forward-thinking organizations are beginning to see sustainability as the way to keep their businesses going forever, right? And because they see that as a way to keep their businesses going forever, you now need FMs to be fully aligned with sustainability concepts and be able to apply sustainability principles in decision-making and management activities. Finance and business, we spend money as FMs. We need to understand money. We need to understand how transactions are put in place through contracts. We need to be able to make projections on how funding and expenses will run through budgeting. We need to be able to translate budgets to contracts and contracts to deliverables using service level agreements. That's finance and business. And be able to predict and create analysis on what the financial impact of every decision we make will be into the future. Human factors, we work with people. Our primary consistency is people. We don't do any facility because of that facility itself. There is always going to be people who need to do certain functionality in those spaces. So whether it's a space for working, a space for religious purpose to worship, a space for recreational purposes, hotels and recreational parks and the rest, a space for, whatever that space is, that's the functionality that humans want to achieve with that space. Our job is to ensure that not just the space and services are provided, but people get what makes their lives comfortable, safe, secure, and productive. Leadership and strategy. Being able to do all of these things we're talking about in FM requires that you are able to see ahead sufficiently to be able to draw up, create a picture of where your service, your organization, your people should be in the next few years. Create a gap analysis between what you see as that vision that you have carefully defined and where your current situation is right now, and coming up with a plan to take you from where you are to where you intend to be. That is strategy. But to do strategy, to implement strategy, you need to take people along. People need to be able to walk on their own by themselves, being guided, being inspired, being motivated to take right decisions that will move them towards the destinations you have painted for them. That is leadership, influence and inspiration. And FM needs that. You have multiple stakeholders to manage, and you need to have these skills to be able to manage those stakeholders. I've seen FMs come to say, oh, well, my boss doesn't like me. I say, you'll have a problem. Also, so person, those customers, they are so sadistic. They will be doing things that will frustrate the work and they don't even want me to succeed. No. It's you that needs to ask yourself, am I leading them? If I'm not able to influence them, then I'm failing. And that's what needs to be fixed. Then you have operations and maintenance. Most FMs can easily relate to this. Is the office set? Is there water? Is there lights? Is there all of the services people need to work with? You do this at operations and maintenance, but operations and maintenance is more like the front end of your delivery. All of what goes into it is the back end, and all of these other competencies will fit into that. For example, you need money, you need approvals. Money, that's finance and business, right? You need approvals, leadership, your boss listening to you, always challenging you, right? You will need, be able to communicate, write business cases, write presentations, and so on and so forth to be able to do operations and maintenance, because you need resources to work with. And then project management. The FM will deliver on several projects on a continuous basis. Projects are the things we do intermittently once in a while that are not part of our routine activities. And every blessed day an FM gets involved in a project, he needs to use project management skills and principles. And that's why it's a core competence in FM. You can't just say, oh, come and install generators for me. You send money for them to buy the gen, and then they come and install the gen for you. You don't have any careful plan that follows the process of understanding the tasks that need to be performed, scheduling those tasks, ensuring that resources who are going to perform these tasks are in place, and ensuring that the tasks are eventually performed and reports generated, lessons learned are generated from that task and that project that you've implemented. All of the risk factors, all of the things that you need to anticipate needs to be properly anticipated. But if you don't anticipate them, then something can go wrong mid-activity. And you say, oh, well, it's not even an act of God. It's an act of negligence that leads to emergencies. Quality. Quality is the focus on the customer. Being able to quantify the customer expectations objectively. Being able to design services that meet those objective metrics that we have created from the customer expectation that we now have articulated from our interactions with the customers. Then be able to provide the services and be able to rate ourselves on how well we are doing with delivering the services that the customer wants. That is quality. Quality is not great in FM because we provide services which is an intangible. How do people assess what we have done to say you guys are good, or FM company A is better than FM company B, or facility manager A is better than facility manager B? What do people reason out? What do they have in their mind when they make such conclusions, right? You need to understand this from the standpoint of quality so you can be in control, okay? And then real estate and property management, the FM needs to be able to create real estate master plans. Master plans are plans that helps you to define your real estate requirements over a horizon of time, be able to meet the needs of the organization now and in the future, be able to manage things like spaces and move management and relocations and so on and so forth. It all comes in, including leases and lease management. The FM uses a lot of technology. In the past, FM didn't use so much technology. So just a matter of logbooks to log all incidents and task assignments in work order papers. And then we had spreadsheets for reporting these things back, and then being able to analyze by looking at this spreadsheet to make inferences and create trends and so on and so forth. FM has now evolved from those manual processes. Now we have buildings being built with intelligence in themselves, starting with sensors and controllers. Building management systems were born, and they do they give us a lot of data on how our buildings are doing. We are also able to use software like computer facility management to manage our properties these days by just automating all the processes, streamlining all our processes into it, and the system starts giving us prompts to make sure we don't miss a beat as we manage those facilities. Facility managers are like you're like the oil in the engine. If it is not properly oiled, the engine is going to knock. Every time you see a property built up and it runs down, those dives in quality and value, be rest assured the FM was not carried along, or there was no FM plan in place. all through the process of planning for a new facility, constructing it, operating it, disposing it, and redeveloping it, the FM plays a critical role in it. I've heard people say things like, oh, we will finish the construction and then we will find facility managers to come and manage it. No, even before you thought about what needs to be built, the FM needs to be part of that strategic planning and design, all the way to construction and startup, use, repair, replace, sale, demolition, and everything in between. Why? Because the FM understands people that use spaces. The FM understands what we call degradation curves, for example. How do materials and building systems age and dwindle historically? The FM experiences this. The FM experiences different kinds of people and knows the expectations of those people, what disappoints them and what satisfies them, and can bring all of that information into the design stage through the construction, operation, disposal, and development phase of all facilities. And the FM will typically communicate using service level agreements. The FM creates a service level agreement, which is a piece of work that documents the expectations of the customers. That's between you and your internal customers. The same way you carry those expectations and put them in a service level agreement or contract with vendors and employees. So your service level agreement is a two-way thing. You first of all listen to your customers and building users and management, and then you translate what you get from them into what goes into the contract of the users of your facility. That's very key to understanding of the SLA concept. It's a tool for communication, a tool for binding us into commitments, a tool for creating contracts and putting contracts in place. We're going to have a lot more sessions to talk about service level agreements in this program. I'm going into the key elements of facility management, which has to do with the people, place, technology, and process that we introduced when looking at the definitions. People are very crucial in facility management. It's about managing people. It's about people perception. Your final result, in fact, your ultimate result as a facility manager is what your building user says you have achieved. When they say, oh, this person has done well, this FM team is a good FM team. They have reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, reason 4. Whatever reasons those are, the FM is able to tap those perceptions as its final judgment. And that's why we talk about customer satisfaction index. You, as a facility manager, must be able to continually tap into information on how your customer perceives your service. If they are feeling worse and worse about the service you are providing, you must find a way to improve. If they are feeling better and better, then that means you are improving and your services is being accepted. Facility management is not just technical skills. I hear people saying things like, oh, we are looking for a technical, a hands-on facility manager with engineering background. I just laugh. Why do you need engineering background to do facility management? You don't. Because the FM does not handle spanners and screwdrivers. The FM is an intelligent organizer of resources. The FM is one that defines processes. The FM is the one that looks for resources or individuals that can do the job. It's able to scope the work for them. It's able to supervise the work they are doing. It's able to report on their performance and grade them and pay them. So the level of technical skills you need for facility management you can get by going through training and through experience over the years on the job. It's more of managerial. So let's not get it mixed up. The place is where we manage, where people use. So it's a critical factor. Every organization will depend on spaces where their business is run. Even those organizations that say we exist in the cloud, for example, they still have servers that are on the earth, nowhere in the cloud, that their information is stored, that their shop fronts are hosted, right? Those places still need to be ventilated, cleaned, maintained, and everything that you think about, all right? So everything about human endeavor has to do with space in one form or the other. And this is what the place element is talking about in facility management. FM focuses on delivering the right place for clients. So that's what FM leads to workplaces which better support the flow of productive processes while adding value and reducing costs. Because FM provides, does a lot of service provision, it must be done using processes. Everything from how services are delivered, how space are provided, starts with the thinking, starts with some planning, starts with processes that need to be put in place. And that's why we say process is a key aspect of facility management. And then technology. Technology for me is like a way to weave together all of our processes, right? So we want to develop processes with which we're going to produce places for people to live, work, and play, right? And worship. Now, to do that, we cannot do it quick enough for this generation. We have to apply a means of improving our efficiency and effectiveness. And that's where technology comes in. Okay. It helps us to put our processes in place and speed them up. All right, I'm going to look at the strategies for fostering operational excellence in facility management. Before I do that, I'm going to ask us to take another break, just a 5-minute break. And when we come back from the break, I'll ask you if anyone has questions in the interim before we go into these very important strategies. So put your hands up if you want to make a comment or ask a question as we come back from the break. Thank you. It would be nice if somebody can put on chat that we're on break so that anybody that comes in will see that we're on break in the chat. Thank you.
Hello, I'm not connected.
We are on break.
Okay, okay.
We're on a 5-minute break.
Okay. Thank you.
Class will be back shortly.
Break. Break.
Okay, you don't go.
I've been studying though. Yeah.
Hey guys, doing exam.
Oh. Like,
How are you?
I think the 5 minute break has elapsed.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I have a wet hand up. You can unmute and speak.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome back, sir.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back, sir.
Yes, sir. I raised my hand the other time.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So who is speaking now? Is it Aware?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to ask, the material we're having now is more of like key points. Will you give us a comprehensive material so that we can read extensively on these points?
You will get the video. That's the additional material you get.
Okay, this particular video.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
When the class is over, the video is normally saved in our video management system, and a link will be sent to you to access the video. But we typically don't release the videos to anyone who's paying tuition in parts. Those who have paid up their tuition get access to the videos. Those who are owing fees hurry up to pay up their tuition so that they can get access to the video. That's our policy in Max-Migold. Jibril.
Sir, yes, sir. I wanted to ask, can you advise on the further literature that we can get and how we can get them, since we're only going to get these bullets
slides?
And
yes. What I'll do, I'll put 2 textbooks that I usually recommend on your platform. I should be able to do that tonight or tomorrow. I'll put 2 textbooks that you should all try and get so you can read. Read up wide, okay? I'll put them in the platform for you. Thanks for that question. Kingsley.
Yes, my question is just to clarify on what you said earlier.
Yes.
That for those who have made part payment, they won't have access to the video.
Yes.
So does it mean that when they make their full payment, will they still have access to the previous videos that have been sent?
Yes. So if the videos accumulated are say 8 before you finish paying your full payment, you get access to all and keep getting all the videos from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then we even put the video in a retrieval place where you can get access to previous classes videos. You know, when a topic is being taught today, that topic will elaborate in one in some areas more than elaborate in other areas of that topic, right? So if you watch 2 or 3 videos of the same topic, you're going to get a deeper view of that topic. So we have all that stuff for you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Chimezie.
Yes, my question is about the customer service index you talked about as one of the key elements of facility management. I would like to know, would this also be the same as key performance index?
No. So what I talked about is customer satisfaction index, CSI, right? What you are talking about is key performance indicators, KPI. They are 2 different things, right? The only way they relate to each other is that customer satisfaction index often is a type of KPI. KPI is the highest level of performance evaluation, right? And CSI is typically one branch of KPI. So just to give you like an intro, key performance indicators describe the relevance of your service, the criticality of your service to the organization, okay? It is very different from when you are trying to assess how well your service is performed. If somebody is cleaning the room and cleaning the room very well and everywhere is so clean, that is describing the quality of the service. That is not a KPI. But KPI is, what does cleaning as a whole contribute to my organization? How does cleaning affect areas where my organization wants to succeed or its core business? That's what KPI does. So if cleaning helps people to stay healthy and reduces people missing work, for example, then that is a KPI for cleaning, which is the health and well-being of the occupants. And why is that a KPI for cleaning? Because cleaning is contributing to the health and well-being, which is important to the organization's productivity and success. Okay, there was one more hand up. I will resolve that. Okay, Tom, yes, you finally found a way to rename, right? Welcome. You introduce yourself maybe with the next opportunity. Whose hand was up? That was Daniel. Daniel, your hand was up, or is that just thumbs up, right? I should go on.
No, my hand was on. My hand was up.
Your hand was up. Okay, go ahead then.
My question is, I just wanted to know from you, it's just a clarification.
Yes.
This training, we're going to have it almost entirely virtually, or at some point are we going to have to come to a class?
Okay, so there are two opportunities for us to come together, or three. One is when we have the field trips. We're going to set up field trips where we're going to go out together. We're going to put on our t-shirts, hang up, backpacks or whatever bags we get as souvenirs from this class, and go for a building inspection. All right. So we normally will have like three field trips per class. That's where we get to meet together. That's one. And then the second opportunity is when, as a class, because that's something that has not happened yet, you need to get to know yourself a little bit. In about 2 or 3 classes, you have to have a class governor, right? So that governor has to be appointed, who is going to organize you guys in a group for other professional networking and socialization. And you guys could come up with an opportunity to meet together, invite me or attend. And then during graduation ceremonies every year, all students and alumni, whether you're graduating or not, are invited to graduation ceremonies automatically. So we get to meet again in that setting. But in terms of class to class, it's going to be 100% virtual.
It's okay.
Thank you. Anthony. Anthony, your hand is up and you're muted. Try to unmute first. Start talking. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, your audio is coming out.
Yeah. Now, my question is, I've been having a difficulty in following up with the class due to network. Now, my question is, are we going to get, at every point that we finish our class, is there going to be a video sent to us so that we can use to at least go
review
through the lesson?
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I'm finding it very difficult connecting.
I understand. I just addressed that a moment ago. Everyone who has paid up their tuition have access to the videos. Once your tuition is complete, you have access to the videos.
Oh, I've done that.
Okay, good. So you have so Barakat will set you up.
I've done that already.
Yeah, she will set you up with access to the videos so you can be able to review the videos, okay?
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, so that's all for the questions. I'm just going to go straight into these strategies to foster FM operational. Okay, yes, Tom, your hand is up. Let's hear from you. Tom, you can unmute and put on your video. Let's see your face. Yes, Tom, go ahead. Your audio is not coming through.
Sorry, I can't.
Are you trying to use a headset?
It's 6:01 p.m.
Hello, Tom. Are you talking to the class? Maybe you need to unplug the headset or what you do, click on your Zoom, by the mic icon and select the mic you want to use from the mic icon in your Zoom. Because it looks like you are using your device directly, your device mic directly, but you're talking into a mic in your hand. No, your audio is not coming out. No, not coming out.
It's 6:02 p.m.
Since your video is this clear, it means it's not internet, it's a device issue you're having, my Tom.
So just in chat, if you can chat.
Yeah, so Tom, you can chat, use the chats to type. Type on the chats, yeah? Christian, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, so can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Actually, maybe let me just formally introduce myself then.
Yes, we need to see your face while you're doing that as well.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. I don't know. I believe you can see me. Okay.
Yes, you can put up. You can put up the video now. Next time you dress up, and then because you were in class in the beginning, that's why.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Did you guys see Christian's chest? He didn't put on.
He's the wrestler.
Next time that happens, you have to buy all of us a drink. Do you understand?
All right, that's the problem. Sorry about that.
We're waiting for our drink.
All right, go on.
Well, the name is Amos Ikechukwu. That's the official name. So on my Zoom, it's actually Christian Amos. So okay, and yes, I just tuned into the lecture. I was actually at work, and then I got home, so I decided to just join in immediately. So I didn't follow up from the initial standpoint, and then I just catch a few notes of where you were actually trying to explain about the KPI and the customer performance
customer satisfaction index.
Satisfaction index, yeah. So I just really want a little bit of clarification in that point. So you're saying the key performance indication is not actually like an evaluation of someone's should I say someone's job activities, is it?
It's not.
Okay, it's not.
It's not.
So the customer
satisfaction index.
Performance index. So it's strictly based on customer satisfaction.
Customer
you
perception.
Get evaluated by customer satisfaction, right?
Yes.
Like maybe the comments and their recommendation towards what you've actually done for them, like the services you've actually given to them, right?
Yeah, that's CSI.
Okay.
You must be able to track your CSI on an ongoing basis, right? So if I have a work order system, when customers make a request, there's a work order generated for that request to be executed. If that request is executed, I ask the customer how he feels about what I have done. That gives me an indication of the customer's level of satisfaction with my work. For example, I could have a few questions under that work order that says, was I on time? Did I not waste your money? Did I not mess up your space? And so on and so forth. On a scale of 1 to 5, how did I do with neatness? How did I do with punctuality? How did I do with value for money and so on and so forth? When the customer ticks any of those, it gives me an objective numerical value of what the customer perceives that I have done, right? That is what I will be tracking. I will be aggregating it for multiple customers and multiple work orders and multiple service lines or service activities. And I will be saying, for this service, our customers are rating us this high. For this service, our customers are not rating us that much, right? So what are the issues? I begin to pick out the issues to work on. So my goal is to keep increasing customer satisfaction index higher and higher throughout my operations. So that's CSI.
Okay, because with what you just explained, I think I can actually relate this particular function to that of a residential facility manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I actually work in an hospitality organization that has to do with a restaurant and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So on so many occasions, I've actually visited our page, and then I saw a lot of comments regarding to the facility. Like customers are saying, "Oh, we like the way the ambience is, the feel, the lighting, the swift response in terms of emergency, in terms of the parking space, in the ambience and all that." So I think, so how can I actually, track my own, customer satisfaction or index?
Yes.
In this aspect.
So if you are using that as a tool, what you need to be doing is start checking how many stars they are rating you. All the comments where they comment about facilities, filter them out, right? And get the average of your star rating. 3.5 stars is 70%, 3 stars is 60%, 4 stars is 80%, 4.5 stars is 90%, and so on and so forth. It gives you an indication of how you're satisfying your customers from the facility standpoint. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. So because you were not here at the beginning of the class, I will just quickly reiterate on the rules of the class. And I think you and 2 or 3 other people came into the class after we've done that part of it. I won't be able to wait till you get the videos to get this information. It's very critical. Our program is a formal program. It's a formal training. It's not informal. It's not casual. Anybody coming into the class dresses up as if you're going to a formal class, makeup, dress up, wear your ties if you have to, do your makeup and hairdo if you have to. But you come into the class, be ready to interact, network, connect with everybody. And that means face-to-face. We have to make it as live-like as possible, okay? So that's the first thing. And because it's a formal program, there are rules for assignments and assessments and an exam at the end of the day that everybody will need to fulfill. It's not this come to training, 2 days, 3 days training, you go away and get a certificate. No, you really need to follow the rigor as if you're in an academic system. That's what this program is about, okay? So that's what I need to note. So you have to be in a proper desk and chair when in this class, as if you're in a classroom or in an office, okay? All right. So the first strategy to foster operational excellence in facility management is manpower management. First thing to note, nothing you do in FM is a one-man job. FM is a teamwork. Being able to plan to always have the right kind of people with the right kind of skills in the right kinds of positions in your team will make a huge difference to your FM career and success in service delivery. So what skills do you need? What people that have those skills, how many of them do you need? What are the experiences you need in your team? And then if you have all of those today, how about tomorrow? How will your service requirements of your customers and your organization change? Will you have enough of all the right skills, or will you struggle? The whole idea of doing manpower planning is to ensure that you analyze, understand those who are currently in your manpower, your team right now. You understand what the future should be like in terms of a vision of the kind of manpower you should have, how many, quantity, quality, skills, all right? And then have a development program. That program is for both employment and training. How do I employ the right kind of people, and how would my training program bring them up to speed? How do I employ people who are already trained and give them the right opportunities to improve their experience? That needs to happen. And my advice for you as facility managers, especially going up in leadership, is that you don't wait until you have a vacancy before you start looking out. In FM, you would have worked with people who walk away and don't come back. Some people just find an opportunity while coming to work. And that opportunity will just look juicier than coming to work. Somebody says, one of your cleaners should, he sees him as a very strong guy. Say, look, follow us to load cartons. When we load the cartons from here, we'll go to Mina and offload it. Go in and come in 3 days, 30,000. And the guy is thinking about all the 30 days he will use to earn 30,000 from your cleaning job. He probably won't get to the office before he hops into that truck and heads off loading cartons. Hopefully, he can get 30,000 every 3 days. Your job will suffer that day. If that cleaner does not show up at work, what will you do? Do you have an alternative? Or will you bend down and clean yourself? How do you currently recruit? Who are you networked with for recruitment? Many of us make the mistake of asking somebody to look for his friends to come and work. Look for your friends to come and work. We make all kinds of blunders and recruiting the wrong people. You must be tapped into a recruitment network, a system of having a continuous flow, so that you can have interviews done, you have CVs reviewed, you have assessment done. Your recruitment process can advance up to 90% even when there's no vacancy, for as many people as possible. So that when the opportunity starts showing up, it is just the last 10% of recruitment activity that you need to perform on those you've done due diligence on, and you can fill your space quickly. If you run an FM company today and you are bidding for work and you suddenly win a big FM job, and you now need 25 cleaners, 7 maintenance crew, 2 FF facility managers and supervisors, where will you get them from? Many of us don't ask these questions. And then when you, as a supervisor, become manager, who is going to be the next supervisor or coordinator? And if you know who is going to be the next supervisor or coordinator, who is going to replace that person in the field? Succession planning. It all goes into manpower planning. You must know your customers. A clear knowledge of who your customer is or are and what their expectations and service attributes are is key to your delivery of services. Every time you tell me something like, oh, I don't know how to satisfy these customers, you really can't satisfy them. They are too demanding. They are too this, I just look at how ignorant that talk is. Your first job as an FM is not to come into a space to say, I'm the FM, I provide this space and service. No. My first job as an FM is to understand why the space exists in the first place. Who uses that space? For what purpose? So I must understand what the users of the spaces that I'm providing want to achieve. There's a difference between someone who wants to sell goods in a shop, inviting many people to come and look at the aisles and the shelves, and having conversations in all parts of the building, making noise and the rest. That's hugely different from someone who is trying to create a design, a masterpiece in his computer in an office environment. You are the FM. You cannot provide the same FM services to the shop as well as to the office. And what makes the difference between the two is the people and the activities they perform in those spaces. So you must know who your customer is, and you must know their service expectations, their service quality attributes. Why one customer will say, look, I don't like very quiet places. I like places that is very lively. I like, to make this place look lively so people can be passing out, be seeing activity. And that customer will be like, I'm not sure I can survive in this place where people are dragging their feet across the corridor every 2 minutes. I want absolute silence to be able to concentrate. My being able to satisfy both customers means I understand what they are trying to achieve. You cannot satisfy any customers until you understand what they are trying to achieve. So you put yourself in their shoes. In architecture school those days, they used to tell us that architects are masters of all. Because when you want to design for any field or any profession or anybody, you need to understand the person so you can design for the person. But architects, their engagement is so short and they're out the window, they're off. The FM have long-term engagement and understanding of their users. It is the FM that understands best what the customer wants, what the customer is doing. That you are the true masters of all. Jacks of all trades and masters of all. Who are your customers? The organization or group of occupants that awarded the FM contracts. What do you call them nowadays? ESCO, residential estates, ESCO. They're the ones that gave you the job, so they're your customer. The residents and landlords in those estates, even in malls and multi-tenanted office complexes, people who rent and use those spaces. Even visitors that come in. If you think everybody in the building likes you, and you go and look at the comment box and visitors are writing all kinds of rubbish about your service, then your service is really crappy. All stakeholders are your customers. You must understand their various expectations and service quality attributes. How do you communicate with them? I've seen FM say something like, oh, I sent emails to all of them. There's only this particular one that's not telling me it wasn't informed. I say, go and check your email, the information is there. My dear, if you didn't check his email, it is still your fault that you did not inform him. You know why? You should know what form of communication gets your message through to him. Because every time your information or communication from you did not get through for someone to act on it, it is not the person that failed, it is you, the FM, that failed. Okay, so it's very important. Customers are special and we must treat them as special. You cannot treat somebody as special when you don't even know the person's name, his date of birth, a birthday, for example. You don't know anything that the person likes or dislikes. There's no way you can say that person is special to you. What do customers really want from you? What do they want? Many times, facility managers don't ask, what does customers want? What do customers want? We tend to conclude that we have a list of things that we provide that should satisfy all customers. Interestingly, not everything that satisfies customer A will satisfy customer B. You can have 10 customers. 8 will say you are super. In every respect that we assess you, you are just too good. 2 will say, I don't understand you. You don't seem to want to provide any of the services the way I want it. What should you do as an FM? Should you say, well, since I'm getting praises from the majority, I can ignore the remaining 2? You can't afford to do that. Your career may just be ruined by just 1 out of those 10 customers doing something nasty to your reputation just because you ignored his expectations. So with this list of expectations of customers, find out what your various customers prefer and rank that particular expectation high for that customer so you can always meet that customer expectation. Is it timely response to request? If I ask for something, how long will it take you to respond, to even acknowledge that I've asked for you to come and fix something? Proactive approach to problem solving, identification and solution. Some customers already feel disappointed that they have to be the one to tell you that something is wrong. How come you could not even do your inspections to find out that this was already making noise and it will soon spoil? For me to come and tell you it's now spoiled. For some customers, they may not worry whether you respond to them or not, but they know that once you pick up on the issue, you will deal with it quickly. Timely resolution of identified problem. Some customers just get pissed off when you go about solving a problem without telling them what caused the disruption. Service has failed. Power has gone out. Water has stopped. And instead of talking with them first to understand what the situation is and what you are doing about it and how long it's going to take you and when you're going to give them further feedback, you allow them to start guessing what is going on while you are busy, so-called trying to fix the problem. Feedback when you are working for a customer. Some customers need to be updated regularly. You should under-promise and over-deliver. Don't tell a customer in 10 minutes it will be done, and in 30 minutes the customer is still expecting. If the customer knew that it was going to be in 40 minutes and it's done in 30 minutes, customer will give you thumbs up. But if you tell the customer it's going to be done in 10 minutes and it is done in the same 30 minutes, customer will give you thumbs down. You have failed. Even though your service delivery did not change. For one, it will be passed. For the next, it will be failed because of expectations that you did not manage. Keep your integrity and avoid negative perception in your word and action. An FM went to a customer to go and do a job, and the customer was really surprised that you came only 30 minutes late. Like, wow, I wasn't expecting you now. You said you're going to come by 10. You came at 10:30. This is amazing. I was thinking you would come at 1. And the FM was smiling. It's like somebody pouring oil on your head and you are saying thank you and celebrating it. That means your reputation is so bad that when you give 10 o'clock appointment, they expect you by 12 or 1. Nothing you say will mean much to such customers. Deliver your work on time, respect and courtesy and care for your customers. Be cost effective. Every time a customer perceives you as the one that wants to help them spend and waste their money and ruin them, they will not care about what you call value or quality. In fact, for some customers, cheap is quality. Low cost is high quality. If you don't understand that, you'll be making a mistake and spending their money and they're driving you away. Professionalism in outlook and in action. How do you appear? How do you speak? How do you work? That will give customers the perception that you are doing well. Good housekeeping. Tidy up after yourselves, not finish work, and the customer will have to go and repaint or call cleaners to come and clean after you. Attention to detail. You can't solve a problem, generate a quote, get a scope and a quote, approved, get funding. While in it, you now say, oh, sorry, we did not envisage this one. We overlooked this one. Please add extra 5,000, extra 10,000. You are just making yourself look really, really dumb to that customer. You must avoid variation at all costs for all projects and activities. And to avoid variation, you must pay attention to detail. Ask as many questions as possible to give you all of the various angles that things could have, that things can go wrong or that you could easily underestimate. You must know the facilities and service scope that you are managing. The services under your scope must be fully understood by you. For example, you're managing facilities. You don't have an asset register that tells you what you are managing. You don't have a record of past maintenance activities on those assets. There's a problem. You don't know what you are managing. Contracts have been put in place. You've not familiarized yourself with the scope of work of the contract that you want to implement or execute. Big problem. Standards and specifications for work procedures, personnel quality, material standards, tools and equipment, health and safety and environment. You need to either already have them when you work in an organization that already has these processes so you can comply with them. If there are none, it becomes your responsibility to start developing processes and standards in your organization. As people come to me and say, oh, well, I don't like working in this small organization. There are no processes. Everything is not structured. I like working in a structured environment. You are lazy. The structures that you are looking for in where you want to prefer to work, is it not a human being that made those structures, put those structures in place? Did they fall down from heaven? You work in a small organization and you just go about your business from day to day without having any process or any way of doing things. You've not documented anything. And when you are asked, that's how I met things. If you met things that way and you worked there for some years and you left, you are useless. You can't be useful to another organization. And this is one of the reasons why many FMs, even in a ballooning FM demand for FM skills, many people who worked in FM, who found themselves in FM by some chance earlier in their careers, cannot still find jobs. They go for interviews, they work for a few months and they are kicked out because they could not apply themselves to developing standards and procedures that will help the organization put some structures in place. I like to see people assume positions and within a week, they've created a small template for this. Say, oh, you that manages store, this is how you would record things that come in. This is how you would record things that go out. This is how you would account for things that go in and out and always have your balances on this line. You've put that in place. You created a small tool again. Every time cleaners are out, if you see a switch that is broken, please write the name of the area, write the item that is broken, write your name so that I know you are the one that did the inspection and submit it to the maintenance office. Why am I doing those things? I'm putting structures and processes and standards in place. They may not be world-class, like the one you will find in those managing Heathrow Airport, for example, in London, but you have been putting things in place to help your organization move from no documentation, no standard, no processes to the standards you can put in place. Over time, as you go through trainings like this and as you do more research, you begin to get more and more opportunities to refine them and improve them. You must be proactive. The FM that is disciplined and orderly will achieve the highest results. Your maintenance should not be, what should we maintain today? There should be a program of maintenance that starts with what strategy to deploy. The FM is an inspector. You inspect and inspect and inspect. You call it management by walking around. More than 50% of your time should be spent seeing people at work, inspecting your buildings, interacting with your customers. MBW is key. So you must do routine activities that put you on your feet. Identify problems, report the problems, and fix the problems. The FM must be able to embrace new technology, must be able to prepare for changes. Your customers, the customers you had 3-5 years ago, they're no longer the customers you are having today. Customers are becoming wiser by the day. So you must continue to learn and proactively adopt new ways of doing things to continually meet the needs and requirements of your customers and your organization. You cannot execute what you have not planned. So you must plan for every work that you execute. In addition to your own research, seek out mentors and networks within the profession. Many people have been an FM or in an FM position for 10 years. They don't know another FM. In fact, they already start with not even knowing that they are FM, for example, before they now say, who are the other people in my shoes that I can network with? Who are the mentors in the industry? Where is the professional body of this industry that I can join? Documentation. Maintain good documentation and record keeping. A good filing plan. Information about your occupants. Your asset register, continuous survey, and facility site plan. Procedures we talked about, HSC, statistics and records. Minutes of meetings, work requests and completion certificates. Important client communications and correspondence. Information for your clients, information for your contractors, and information for your staff. Security issues, documenting security logs, security incidences, and so on and so forth. You need to have a record for so many things in your organization. If you stepped into a new role today and you did not find an asset register, you did not find a maintenance history that tells you what's been done in the past months and years, I'm sure you'll be confused, disappointed, and angry. But think about it. Where you're coming from, what did you leave behind? What kind of data and documentation? How were they organized so that someone else who is fitting into it can step in straight and understand what's been happening and go on and move on with it? If there are incidents, incidents need to be reported. Incident reporting needs to come in a standard template that you use to analyze what went wrong and what you can do to prevent those things from going wrong in the future. That's very key aspect of operational excellence. Because if something goes wrong today and you did not document it, you did not learn from it, that means it can happen again. And that is the tragedy. If there's a disruption, a service disruption could be a planned disruption, or it could be an unplanned disruption. A planned disruption, like we want to wash the tank. It means we have to stop water flow, empty the tanks, and wash the tank, right? What kind of notification should we have in place to prepare our occupants and building users for such an activity? How do we time it? How do we communicate it? If you were in the office and the gen suddenly goes off when there's no public supply, you go there and find out there's a problem. The oil just leaked out of the engine. It will require some work to fix and refill oil and start the generator. And people have to be in the dark for 2 hours. What will you do next? Will you go ahead and start fixing that problem in 2 hours and let everybody to his devices and get to know by themselves how and what is going on? Or will you design a template for communicating the details of what's going on? This is what this template is for. So what you have in page 28, please use this particular sheet to come up with your own communication template that you can put in your WhatsApp message, that you can put in your SMS, that you can put in your email. Just edit when you want to send it out. You put the title, Notice of Disruption, in provision of water supply, for example. What happened? Reason, planned maintenance. We're going to wash the tank. I kid you not, I've been in a hotel where water ran out when I was in the shower. I thought it was a temporary problem, that maybe they're switching power source, and so the booster pump is off temporarily. I waited for about 5 to 7 minutes, found my way, towel my face, came down to pick up the phone and call the reception. What is going on? Water just stopped running. And you know what they told me? They are washing the tank. They'll be done in an hour. And water will start flowing again. I said, I don't understand. How come you couldn't tell me that you're going to be putting out water in a hotel? This happens in residential estates all the time. It happens in markets and offices. The FM just keep going on with their business as if it is their business to do. No, you let me know. Of course, the reason that most of us that use the hotel, we go to work in the morning, and so by 10, the last person is out. And as such, it is safe to assume that there's nobody in the hotel anymore for them to put off the water. Not knowing that, poor me, I don't know who else must have been in that shoes, worked very late till about 1, 2 in the morning, slept till about 7:38, and had to get into the shower at about 9 because I wasn't going to go to work early because I've done most of the work of the day overnight. So this is the time I chose for myself to shower. I don't need to tell the hotel that I'll be showering at 10. They need to tell me that they'll be putting off water at 10. And this is exactly what customer service is about. Health and safety. The FM carrier is very delicate. Everybody that uses your facilities, their lives, their well-being, their security, their safety is in your hands. This includes your contractors. This includes your neighbors who are passing by and just saying things. The FM in every site must consider himself the HSC owner or administrator. I know a lot of organizations have HSC officer, HSC manager, HSC management and policies and that in place. But as far as the FM work is concerned, as far as the care of people who use the facility is concerned, it is the FM's responsibility to be fully HSC trained, specialized. Why? You want to prevent accidents. Why? You want to reduce negative impact on the health and well-being of the occupants and the workers. And to do that, you must have standards in place. For every job that needs to be performed on the site, there is a job hazard analysis, also called a job safety analysis. It's a simple document where you list what steps will be taken to execute the job and the kind of hazards that can be experienced in each of those steps and how you can avoid, mitigate, or transfer those hazards. Simple, 3-4 columns. That template is ready. And then you can analyze. Once people talk about potential hazards and risk for activities, there's a less likelihood that those risks will emanate because it comes to the front of the mind. Safety data sheet is where you document, it's a document that carries information on the safety, handling, and use of materials, especially chemicals. If you buy a bottle of Jik, which is a bleach, on the body, the SDS is there. It says this chemical contains 6% hypochlorite. The key ingredient is indicated. It says these are the uses for washing, for cleaning, for purifying water. It is there. It says this is how to store it in a cool, dry place removed from children, away from direct sunlight. That is part of the SDS. It says this is not to be ingested. This is the poison category if ingested. It also says, is this flammable or not flammable? All of those things are what you have in an SDS. The FM should have an SDS for everything, from glues to paints, to cleaning chemicals, to fumigation chemicals. Everything, you must understand what chemicals you have in your spaces. And if you are one of those that buys mixed chemicals in the neighborhood on unlabeled containers, then it now behoves on you to look for the active ingredients, go online, search for the SDS of that active ingredient, copy and paste into your own corporate logo and format to say, this is what we use for cleaning. Our cleaning chemical for bleaching up stains from tiles contains so and so key ingredient. Maybe some of us that use some chemicals, what they call O4 or whatever, that have different type of acid content. You must have the SDS in place, so that whoever comes in contact with that chemical knows what it's about. Toolbox meetings, you discuss work that needs to be done, and you plan, and then you train every day. HSE meetings and minutes, annual plan and reports of fire drills, periodic HSE audits. Do an inspection, not just for maintenance, you do inspection for HSE audits to see how safe the environment is for your people. And then having PPEs and doing security reviews, having reports. These are all parts of having HSE in place in your site. The FM job is an inspections job. And my rule of thumb is 50% of your time is spent going around. Pay attention to blind spots where people normally will not look at, under the stairs, behind doors, on top of the doors, the ceiling corners, and so on and so forth. And ensure that as you do these inspections, we are actually acting on things that needs to be done. Communication with your customers through reports, through interactions, through surveys is very important. Every activity that you must perform, you must plan for them. If you do not plan for them, you already plan to fail on them. Okay? And planning, for me, is just a simple tool that forces you to ask questions and provide answers. That's what the plan is. What do I want to do? I write it down. How do I want to do it? Step 1, step 2, step 3. What can go wrong with each of these steps? I know them. What resources will I need? I know them. Are there any considerations or constraints to having the resources? I know them. What do I want to achieve? I know them. How will I rate my performance on this job? I know them. I'm creating a plan. If you plan right, you will execute right. And then having a quality management system. You see all those processes we talked about, those processes actually talk about quality management. If you have a process for maintenance, for example, preventive maintenance, you have a process for acquiring a new asset and putting it into your asset register. You have a process for making requests, for customers making requests and you fulfilling them. You have a process for managing your stock items in your stores. You have a process for requesting for working funds and retiring your working funds. You have a process for leave permissions, going on leave and coming back from leave. You have a process for onboarding staff and the little guide on how staff are going to be onboarded. You have a process for spending money and how to make decisions and so on and so forth. All of those things you are putting together is making your quality management systems. It tells what's important to the organization. It tells how any employee should behave and perform within the organization. And you as a manager will now be the one not only creating those systems, but also reviewing them for compliance with all your staff. I've seen situations where a staff willfully does something stupid, like something really, really bad. You are the manager. You know that this staff knows better. Should have done this. You just want to ruin your career and destroy the contract. But you can't do anything. You can only shout and complain. You can talk about how many times you guys have discussed about this procedure and how the staff knows what he's doing. But has it ever been documented? Have there been training provided where the staff signed that I now know how to do this? Are there minutes of meetings that shows him as an attendee where this was discussed and layout of activities or how things can be done or should be done Agreed. Do you have a safe work method statement? Do you have a permit to work in place? We'll talk about all of this as we go on in this program. The whole idea of running this program should be for you to put down systems, processes. Little by little, you build your way up to an excellent operation. So that's our class for today. I would ask that you put up your hands for questions so we can have that discussion. And the structure of each class will follow that same pattern where we have a presentation. The presentation will typically be a 90 minutes presentation for most of the classes. During that presentation time, we'll encourage that you write down your notes, all right, your questions and your comments and all that, so that at the end of the class, we'll now have a very robust open mic discussion where people raise their hand, draw us in different directions, bring up problems they had in their offices and experiences with other people. We will discuss it, okay? So there's a 30 minutes introduction discussion, which will focus on our last lesson and focus on issues we encounter in our work this week, right? And then we'll have a 90 minutes main presentation by the facilitator for that topic, right? And then we'll now have another 60 minutes open for a robust discussion. That's how our classes are going to be structured throughout this program. Tom's hand is up. Others can put up their hand. Tom, you can start. I think we had a problem with hearing from Tom earlier on. Do you want to type? Yes, I saw Tom's comment before. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm a health and safety consultant. Happy to be here for the course. My experience is 18 years plus. Yes, thank you very much, Tom. So you may want to type in this other question you have because your audio is still not coming out. We may have to discuss what's causing that technical challenge at your end, okay? I believe it's a hardware issue. So if we're able to talk on phone after this class, we'll discuss what device you are using and why it's causing this issue, okay? Moses. Tom, you can type while I'm taking Moses' question.
Yes, first of all, I want to appreciate the elaborate lecture. But my question is from slide 23, being proactive. I would love to know a few strategies that we can use to be proactive enough to prepare for the unknown, because we can have some unknown issues that can arise on our site. What are a few of the strategies that we can use to be that proactive and meet issues in the board?
Okay, fantastic. Being proactive means that, one, you have plans in place. What that means is that all the staff activities are planned. All the inspections that need to be performed are planned. All the maintenance activities are planned. Your cleaners have a roster and they have activities to perform according to their rosters. The security guys have their beats and they have a routine for every beat activity for every hour. Planning, planning, planning is number one. Number two, risk management, which you could break down into business continuity and business emergency preparedness and business continuity. They are two different things. Emergency preparedness is a tool that helps you look at your organization and ask questions. What can affect my organization? What can affect my operation? Many of us are in Lekki as this. Every time it rains, we are praying to God that the rain should not go past 1 hour. Because if it passed 1 hour, we might be locked out of our facilities or locked in. I've been locked into an estate before in Lekki, locked in for 2 days. Rain was falling in the night around 10, 11. I was busy chilling in my own apartment, not knowing that all my neighbors are fitted out of the estate. They know what used to happen. I was new. I was the only one new in that estate. By the time I woke up in the morning, 7 o'clock, all their cars were complete. I said, no, they go work today. I started knocking doors. They left last night. So it was only me that was left napping. Emergency preparedness is asking all of those questions. What can go wrong? And those questions can be environmental. I talk about rain and weather. It could be internal processes. We call it bureaucracy. Oh, they didn't give us approval on time. Somebody is trying to hold the system down. Somebody is not approving, and so on and so forth. How will it affect my business and my operations as an FM? Or do I want to have them as excuses? And then there are other factors like things you don't even have control over. Public supply of water and electricity. Many facilities you manage in VI, for example, still don't have their own boreholes because they depend on public water supply. Just the way we all depend on public electricity supply that we have given up hope on for a long time. Now we all have generators, right? What will happen if water does not come into your facility for 1 week or 2 weeks? If you go to most of those facilities, they have huge underground tanks. So the day the water starts trickling in, they will store everything the government can provide. So they have for a whole month. These are all part of emergency planning. So that things don't go wrong and you say, oh, we didn't envisage, it's not our fault. Right? So I've talked about what? 1, plan. And 2, manage risk by actively searching for risk items and putting plans in place to mitigate, eliminate, avoid, eradicate, transfer those risks. That is proactive facility management. Let me hear from Tom. You still not typed in your question, or Tom, I'm still looking out for your question in the chat. So Francis, please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I have 2 things. First, this, so I don't know if you noticed that I left in like 2 minutes ago. That was a network problem. So if for someone like me who has not fully paid and I'm not able to access the video after the lecture, and I'm having network problem, which is probably, I'm certain that that is not from my own side, it's network generally. What will be the advantage that I may have, considering the fact that I will still have to complete my payments maybe in a month's time or thereabouts. So I don't want to lose out on anything. Yes, the slides are good, but explanation is very important.
Sure, I agree. I'm part of an organization where we have had experience from students over the years, right? We give these classes with as much concession as we can. Before 2019, nobody was admitted into any training program without full payments. Nobody was admitted into any training program without full payments, right? So we started giving these concessions from 2019 to come into a training on the part payment basis. But the experience has not always been very pleasant, right? So because it's a knowledge economy, what we are doing is sharing skills and knowledge. I can assure you, not up to 20% of you will need the certificates you will get. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Not up to 20% of you will need the paper that you will get. What you will be doing with what you will get out of this training in 6 to 8 weeks will be transforming your life and your career to the extent where you will feel so satisfied.
You may not need
exactly. And if you are the kind of person, you will not need the certificates we have in the office. We have quite a handful. So for us, our processes have also evolved. You understand? Where we allow people in, we give everything we can give, but we also create some incentives to encourage people to meet up with their obligations. All right,
I
yes,
understand.
because
Yes.
more than 80% of the excuses we get for people not paying their tuition complete in a month as they promised are things that boils down to prioritization. Somebody comes up with, oh, I have to go and do my introduction, therefore I can't pay my tuition. The next one says, oh, I have to go and do my mother's burial. The next one comes and says, I cannot pay because I just finished paying for my car. All of the issues that come up to costs I can't pay now have always been due to prioritization, right? So we have to have that little ace, yes, that makes people want to pay off. It's very important that we get that. Otherwise, we will stop to exist. Let me tell you, FM has been in Nigeria since 1980 something, and nobody has done what we are doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, if we don't
Yes.
get incentive to continue, we will as well pack it up because FM does not provide up to 10% of my revenue. The training does not provide 10% of my revenue. My business is in the business of FM. I'm training and doing all of this to build capacity in the industry because I believe in the bigger pie. The bigger the industry, the more the opportunities will come up, right? But we can't do it without the commensurate support to be able to do it. So you just need to understand why we have that policy in place and try your best. If it becomes very important that you have the video immediately, I know what you can do. You talk to friends, you talk to family, you raise up the money, you pay, and then you get the videos and you move on with your class and you tell them, don't worry, the time I would have gotten money to pay Max-Migold, I'll use that money to pay you guys back. You know, it's win-win for everybody, okay? I hope that answers your question, Francis. It's a policy issue. Anthony. Oh, let me take Tom's question. I think he finally dropped it. Quite appreciate the course introductory session today. I'm happier about the role of an FM taking care of people, process assets in one facility, utilizing available technology and skills. Okay, thank you very much. From Chris, could you please help with asset maintenance record sample? Okay, so this is something that I need to put up front for everybody. Because your organization, every FM operation will need to create its own tools and templates. I will normally teach you the principles. You go online and Google up samples. Hundreds and hundreds of samples are online. Google them up, but don't copy them hook, line, and sinker. The same reason I don't give you samples. So if that's the question you're asking, Chris, please use Google for samples, okay? And then get ideas about how to format and organize and create your own from the principles I teach. Anthony, your turn.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just want to share a little bit of my experience, you know,
Good.
what in a project that I managed, one of our 350 kVA generator, you know. What really happened is that we have a man in charge. We have a company in charge of our generator maintenance.
Yeah.
But the man has worked on this generator twice before I came in. He has overhauled the generator twice.
Wow.
So it broke down again. I decided that let us use the company to overhaul the generator, But before then, he came up with some list of items needed to, I'm just going back to issue of the planning, project planning.
Yeah.
I noticed that he gave us a plan, a details of what he needed to do, to overhaul the generator. So we have to ask the other person to come in, already we've asked them to supply the parts and things like that. But when the second person came in, because I have to ask the company to, let's use another company. So when the second company came in, he came up with his own assessment on the generator. But by the time he came up with his own assessment, he needed to change more things, which are bad. These are visible things you see. It's not something that they'll tell you, things like the engine block pad, the shaft itself pad, you know.
You're frozen a bit. Put off your video. Let's see whether the audio can be better.
To be able to get out of the hook, I have to like take pictures of the items in the one by one, which I have to forward to him to see himself that this is exactly what the position is as it is now. And we have to get all these things fixed before we can copy the engine. But he was now making reference back to what the other guy said, like, this is what these guys, I said, yes. Maybe this is what they have done initially, that the generator program twice. But when we have to bring in a second party, it's a different ball game. But what my question is, where I'm driving at is, you know, in most cases, when you are planning things, maybe you have a project and you're going towards that project, there are some other things that can come up, most especially like engines, things like engines. Let me just take that for example. There are some components in the engine again that might be discovered after you might have, you know, maybe after the person might have gone through the, giving you the list already. There are some other things that can still come up again, which might require you to change again.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
It might not be, it might not necessarily be your problem. It might not be your fault at the fault, but
it's actually your fault.
It might be an over. It's okay. Okay. No, you need to put me through because you know why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
You know why I'm saying this, sir.
Yes. Yes.
No, you know, you might be correct to some extent, but the truth of the matter is that this has to do with engines.
Yeah, I know.
And there are so many components that make up this particular engine.
Yes,
You might get to the extent of trying to do one or two things. The bolts might break. Trying to tighten this might happen.
I understand,
and you have to get it.
Yes.
So that's what I'm just going to, that's my area anyway.
Yes, I understand. Okay, so this is it. You want to do this job. Okay, by the way, you've overhauled a generator twice. Please throw that thing away, right? So sometimes we don't deal with life cycle of equipment. We think equipment can last forever. They cannot last forever, right? If you've overhauled a gen once, overhaul it a second time. No matter how you invest in it, you're not getting anything out of it. It's going to be a struggle. But if you decide to do what you are planned to do, right? Contractor A, open it up, give your genuine assessment, give as detailed a breakdown of what needs to be done as possible. Write down your warranty for what you will get for the amount you are going to give, right? Okay. Contractor B, come and do the same thing after contractor A is done. There's no hurry. We are not in a hurry to commit to anybody. It's an open bidding arrangement. Give me your full scope and breakdown. The other one, give me his own. I can even get the third person to give me his own, right? The line items must clearly align as much as possible. If the line items don't align, let's assume somebody come and write bushing in one line, and the next person writes 18-inch or 9 mm diameter, blah, 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 bushing. I'll ask the next person, is your bushing 9 mm diameter? And see if you say yes, write it like that. I must make sure line items align for each of them. Are you getting what I'm saying? Once I am done, I'll do a full comparison. I'll do a full comparison. It is after I've done that full comparison, I will make a decision on who to go for. Every time management sees that work has started and variations are coming into the job, we look like criminals in FM. That's the truth. It almost looks as if we are setting them up.
You're correct.
It almost looks as if we are setting them up, like as if we open the door with a small commitment. When they've now dismantled everything, we start trying to justify why there should be more and more, or else nothing will go forward. So we need to be very careful. We'll present a clear picture end-to-end picture before a decision is taken on what needs to happen. Do not, I repeat, do not get involved in, we did not see that something was going to come in between. No, I want to be in on the details end to end before I start. That is a notch up in professionalism. It is better for me to be delaying while trying to get all that data in than to hurriedly start work and say, we could not have envisaged that at the beginning. So that's the lesson to be learned from this experience you shared.
All right.
Okay, please elaborate more on the, you're welcome. Please elaborate more on the don't wait until there are vacancies before you employ. Does this mean that you should have more hands on a particular position just to cover up for lost time as regards negligence coming from workers? No. I said recruitment follows advertising, interviews before you get to employment. You are not employing anybody when you don't have a vacancy. You are advertising vacancies that don't exist. You are interviewing people for jobs that have not yet become vacant. That's what I'm saying. Do it. And know people who are available for the job, who are qualified for the job. Let them be on your database. You can call them and ask, are you still available? Every now and then, call them and ask them how they are doing, just to check up on them when you still don't have vacancy. Have you found a job now? If you have found a job, delete him. They advertise again and get more people on that pool. That's what I'm saying, okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. That should be the last question, I think. Medikumo, you have a question, but it's already 7 o'clock. Should we allow this question to go, class? Should we allow Medikumo's question to come in live?
Yes, let's allow.
Let's
go.
Let it flow.
Yes.
You know what? I just tested all of you. Some students will say, hey, I don't want the class to drag, but when the thing starts, when the knowledge is now flowing, no, don't close. Please continue, Medical.
All right. First and foremost, let me thank you for the opportunity. I just want to share a few of my experience regarding to the question that was asked pertaining to scope creep.
Yes.
I was in an interview a few weeks ago, and that question was asked, how do you manage scope creep in the project?
Yeah.
It starts with what our facilitator said, with defining your scope properly.
Yeah.
If it's maybe you're doing a work for a client, you need to get a proper brief. And what I like to do after we do we do the scope, I like to get a sign off on the scope. Because sometimes when you start a project, people try to bring things in. And if you are not careful, you see your costs
escalating,
and you don't want that, because like you rightly said, it sends the wrong picture about you when you are going back to somebody to say the cost is increasing. Yeah, there are special projects where we factor scope creep into it. Like maybe, for example, I'm in a process industry where we do our turnaround maintenance.
Yeah, EPC.
Because we may not have opportunities of going in to open some vessels. Unless you open them, you won't really be able to
know the details.
Sure. So in such cases, it's also boils down to your risk assessment. And essentially what can go wrong. So what we do, we make contingency provision to say, okay, let's keep a sum for things like this that we cannot. So that's just my contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thanks everybody. I hope you've all had a good time in today's class. I look forward to seeing you again in class on Thursday. Don't forget, your WhatsApp platform is a conversational platform, okay? Don't leave it idle. When there's business-related issue, technical issues, please keep that platform abuzz, okay? And then we'll keep the conversation going there. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.